Welcome to LC Screen Talk. My name is Larry, and this is my review of Goosebumps 2 Haunted Halloween. The first Goosebumps live action film starring Jack Black was actually quite the surprise. I didn't anticipate liking it really at all, and I thought it was a really fun, charming Halloween film. So there was no reason for me not to be at least somewhat excited to see a sequel in Haunted Halloween. However, I instantly thought the release strategy was a bit strange. Yes, we are in early October, prime seasons for a Goosebumps film. However, we just received a Halloween spooky family friendly film starring Jack Black in The House with the Clock in Its Walls just a couple of weeks ago, and that one is still going strong. So while it's nice to see Jack Black in a family friendly resurgence, he seems to have really cornered the market in live action good family friendly films recently. Hopefully, this new development does not see him eating in on his own audience and niche. So, how is Goosebumps 2 when it comes to quality, regardless of release date? Well, I think, again, it is a nice, easy breezy, fun family Halloween film. So, let's go ahead and kick off with the positives. The biggest positive for me personally was Slappy the ventriloquist doll. I thought he was so fun, so funny, and really the only creepy aspect to the entire film itself. Partially that might be my own nostalgia and affinity for the character from the Goosebumps books from my childhood and even the show, but they did a really nice job here of creating a character that brought the Halloween vibe and gave just enough scary atmosphere, but was also actually charming and funny, and a really nice continuation for the character from the last film. Our human cast are all very strong as well. Jeremy Ray Taylor is making quite the little name for himself as child in scary situations at this point. He was really good in It last year, and I thought he was fantastic in this film. He just is so charming. He has so much charisma in his young acting self that it's really just kind of fun to watch him on screen. Of course, Jack Black is the marquee name on the posters, but in all honesty, he's not in this film all that much and doesn't really do all that much to add or subtract from the film itself at large. So he's there. Wendy McLendon-Covey is in this film, and she's just wonderful in pretty much everything I've ever seen her in. She's playing kind of a version of the mom character she plays on the Goldbergs series, and she comes out with a bang. I actually think her entrance into the film was one of my favorite moments in the entire movie, and by far my favorite comedic moment of the film. But I thought she was also a very good motherly figure. I just wish they would have allowed her to be funnier. She has to play the straight man without the comedy undertones too often in the film, and I think that's a little bit of a waste of her talent. But she did really well with what she was given. Khalil Harris is our other child star here, and I also thought he was very good. He's very charming, he was very charismatic and funny, and he with Jeremy really made a great team. You bought their friendship, you bought their connection, and it was fun kind of just hanging out with them as they went through this adventure. We had Madison Eisman as the older sister here. I thought she was good. What actually is another positive spinning off of Madison and her performance itself was I really liked her character. So this older sister was a little bit of a cliched older sister, gets annoyed, has to look after the younger sibling, blah, blah, blah. But what I really liked is how proactive and assertive she was, and it always felt believable. It was never run scared from the gummy bears when it came to her character. The younger ones, of course, but hers was always I'm grabbing this shovel and I'm not letting anything come in here without at least a fight. She was smart, she was intelligent. All of our kids had something to do, and they were very proactive in doing most of it. And I think that's a great step for the series to take. That's a large part, I think, why Jack Black's role is a lot smaller in this film, is I enjoyed that the kids were figuring things out, they were problem solving, they were proactive in cleaning up what they essentially started or what they kind of helped to advance. And I think that was a really nice touch for this film and a good direction for it to go into. Ken Jeong is also in this film, and he was just kind of like the kooky, fun little side character. He's definitely doing a lot of these really small side roles right now, and I mean they're working to varying degrees. This one was fun for the film it was in, but what was more fun was his Halloween decorated yard was awesome. And then we move over to the monsters, the different creatures other than Slappy. And I think they work to varying degrees. What I did like was their transformation to come alive. There's a sequence in which masks kind of evolve and become like full monsters, and I thought it was a really cool sequence. And my favorite of all of the different creatures and monsters was the witches. I thought they were so cool. It was such a really awesome, inventive design for these witches that they were by far the scariest beasts running around out there, but also the coolest looking beast. It was a nice, new, awesome take on a witch, and I thought it really worked. But most of them were fun, at least. We did see a couple come back from the last film, so a couple of the staples are still there. Another positive, I also really enjoyed the score. I don't know what it was, but the score just like really got me in the mood. It was like perfect parts, like spooky, Halloween-esque, and then kind of fun, adventure-y. And I thought it blended really well together to create a cool atmosphere for the film to play out over. So for the negatives with Goosebumps 2, well, it's a very tried plot. There's nothing new. Story-wise, it plays out beat by beat how every other family film of the sort plays out, and really most family films in general, including the first Goosebumps film. It's very similar. We just have younger kids, which I did appreciate actually, and a little bit less R.L. Stine, but the story beats themselves play out very similarly. And there are so many conveniences that happen in this film, both for the good and for the bad, that it's like, okay, this story really, I mean, I know it's based off of a book, and that's why everything is playing out as the book does. So, I mean, I guess you're only as good as your written material, but our screenwriters are the real writers of this book, and they really had to take a lot of conveniences and a lot of jumps to get from point A to point B. The comedy itself, I think, is hit or miss. There are definitely some really fun, really funny sight gags that happen. As I said, the opening with the mom is really my favorite moment there. But there's like this part where a kid like gets pants that I thought actually worked really well as a comedy bit. But then there are other parts where I just kind of am like, eh. There's some punny type moments, Halloween type puns and stuff that I just thought was okay. And then, of course, the CGI goes from good or decent to not so good. While I liked the transformation of the beasts coming alive, some of those CGI beasts just looked terrible. And then some looked good. There's a headless horseman I thought that looked really good and was actually a really cool just beast in general. But then, like the abominable snowman from the last film still looked pretty wonky in this film. They didn't figure him out. Yeah, and there's other beasts that just missed the mark when it came to effects. So overall, Goosebumps 2 Haunted Halloween, I would say is pretty much right on par with the first Goosebumps. I will admit, I don't think I liked it quite as much as I enjoyed the house with the clock in its walls. But if you have smaller children, I would say under the age of like 7, if your kids scare easier, I would take them to Goosebumps 2 over A House in the Clock in Its Walls. It's much more child-friendly. Like small children, full family will enjoy themselves. And there are moments that maybe might creep them out just a bit, but I think it's fun. It's like fun scares for children. Where I think The Clock in Its Walls was a little bit more actually scary for them. But it doesn't break ground. It doesn't really do anything new. There's nothing overly exciting about Goosebumps 2, but it is a pleasant time. It is a nice, easy breezy type of film that I think the whole family will have a nice time with watching for the Halloween season. So I would give Goosebumps 2 a strong matinee for the whole family. So that is my review of Goosebumps 2 Haunted Halloween. I hope you enjoyed it. If you did, go ahead, click like down below, and subscribe to the channel so you are always up to date on our latest videos. Also, join in on the discussion. Are you excited to see Goosebumps 2 Haunted Halloween? And what is your favorite Halloween family-friendly film? Let me know either in the comment section down below, or you can hit me up on Twitter. I love you all so much for your support. Mwah! Thank you for watching, and I'll see you next time. Bye!